Good morning. There's no time like the present to harvest the radish. I'm going to leave a couple to flower because I need to save some seeds. These are the last of the radish seeds. So I'll save a few to flower, but the rest are either going to be too old and woody and go to the chickens, or if I can save some for pickling, that's what I'm going to do. And quite a few of them are getting eaten already. So, as you may have heard, air quality right now is pretty poor here. Wildfires up in Canada are raging, so it's really looking very unpleasant out here. It's early still. The air isn't as bad as it was yesterday, more in the afternoon. It reminded me of, I lived in Reno for a time in 2015, and yeah, the wildfires in California there was definitely unpleasant and was a deciding factor that Reno was not a place I wanted to live in or anywhere near where wildfires were always happening. So maybe I'm getting pushed out of New York next. I decided that instead of harvesting all of them, I'm just going to pull a few at a time to give to the chickens every day, a little bit. I'll pull up the main big ones that I can maybe do something with. But I'll leave the little ones in the ground. Keep the ground covered, and the chickens aren't going to go through all of this in one day. So I'll do that instead. There's a lot more here than I was expecting. Yeah, but I guess I'll leave that mostly alone. I didn't harvest as much as I thought I was gonna. And here's one that's already got a flower on it. Well, the few that I picked, I will process it now before I bring it inside. By process, I just mean cutting off the tops. I don't know if I'm gonna get to actual pickling today, so I'll refrigerate these. I'm gonna keep the roots on just to keep them fresher a little bit longer, but the leaves will suck up energy, so we'll take the leaves off. At least that's what I heard. That's wrong. Or if you have a different experience, let me know. I mean, some are nice size, but most are puny. All right, so that should be enough for a little pickle jar. Well, looky Lou, I almost missed it. Garlics have started to escape. Like, this is at least 2 days old. This one just came up. This is what happens when you don't look at your plants every day. But yay. In the spirit of small accomplishments, I had a cucumber here and it disappeared. So I'm going to replace it because I have extras. Hooray for extras. All right. This is a small space next to the rhubarb, so I'll just get this done. What I will do is add this to my getting covered up at night jobs. This next project is going to be a little more intense. I've wanted to do this for a while, but I've never had the space, the right space. So now that I have this big bed and I have yet to put my melons in the spaces I was going to put them in, I'm going to make a worm bin that's going to be buried in that space I haven't dug up yet. Easy Triangle posted it recently, and I finally was like, oh my gosh, now's the time for me to do this. So I'm going to drill wormholes there and then dig this up. Thank you, chickens. Got me here plastic bucket number 5, which is food grade. Not that it matters because it's going to be under the ground. It's not going to get super direct sun, so I'm not worried about it leaching. I have about a half-inch drill bit, more or less, in the box to collect the plastic particles because I don't want to have to sweep that and lose some into the earth. Ah, need a new battery. All right, we've got our Swiss cheese bucket. We've dug our hole as deep as we need, which was pretty deep. And now we just have to fill it. You do want a solid lid just to keep excess moisture, excess temperatures, excess different kinds of bugs that you might not want in your composting system here. I'm using my own worms, so I don't see that as a problem. But most people, they're trying to keep away like flies and other things that might attack their worms if they're buying worms. But that's not going to be my case. Anyway, this is covered. I do want to put a pot, not necessarily this one, but I do want to put something on top of it so it's not so evident. I want maybe a flower, put a flower in here. I have tons of marigolds I can put on there. But yeah, so let's fill this up. Well, I'm not going to be able to fill it up all today probably. I don't know if I have enough scraps for that, but we can get it started. At the bottom we have leaves, some wood chips, some soil. I've got my compost worms in here, which unfortunately does include some jumping worms, but it is what it is. And then we have a little bit of kitchen scraps. We have some bananas earmarked for banana dessert that isn't going to be. Generally, I would limit food, like in this case, breads. This is some hair and coffee grounds. Yeah, so I want to discourage any big critters from trying to dig this up. So we're going to leave this for the main compost on the side of the house. But for what's going with the worms, it's going to be mainly greens and leftover vegetables and fruits. Limit like citrusy stuff, even though I've seen a worm very comfortably nestled in a lemon, half a lemon slice. And there was a worm just having a good old time in it. So I don't know how much they really detest citrus. I'd cover this with more leaves, and I'll keep filling this as I get more things to compost. But that's that. Another project done, and we'll get something planted in there. Well, to end these morning chores, I just want to update you on this space that was just recently dug up. I plugged in my lavenders. Those are the ones in darker holes. I've also scattered salvia, sweet williams, alyssum at the very front, and feverfew in between the lavenders. So if I can get those to come up, it should be a nice pretty place with lots of flowers. And reserving that larger space there for something bigger in the future. And then here, from also done the other day, was a few pots that I had lying around. I don't know what kind of pots they are, but they weren't going to be growing food. But I drilled holes at the bottom, and these are going to be for the chickens. I had extra sweet potatoes, so I have those in the center. And then I dotted the perimeter with Malabar spinach. So those will both vine in and around the chickens, and they can have their field day with that. So it's just some added greens besides the stuff I throw in, scraps and sprouts and other things. But yeah, the air quality has gotten considerably worse. It's a lot more stinky. So I'm going inside, do some inside projects, and I will talk to you all again soon. Bye.